Hi, this is Leah with Stamp Love, and today we have Mitch Graf, and he will be stamping us with his love. He is a daddy of three. That is the most important accomplishment that he has. Of course, because as parents, we love our kids. Yeah. He is a serial entrepreneur. He has been punched in his face by this journey of entrepreneurship. He is a 9-time author, and he has a whole host of accomplishments. So he has a lot to share. And the most important thing that I would like to talk to him about is actually sharing his mindset, because after you've been punched in your face by entrepreneurship, it takes some effort to get back up.
It does.
You're welcome.
Right. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this. Just to share with the audience just for a quick second, we had some audio and video issues early on, but we found the workaround, and that's kind of like life, isn't it? You get punched in the face, you get knocked down 99 times, but I always tell people, as long as you get up 100 times, as long as you get up that one extra time, life is good and life is sweet. Yeah, for 35 years, I've been an entrepreneur. I haven't drawn a paycheck since the early 90s, except for my own paycheck. And, on the subject of mental health, entrepreneurs go through challenges, I think, that are unique to that industry. A lot of it is their own doing. The average entrepreneur works almost 70 hours a week because they think they have to. That's what the gurus have taught them, is when you start a business, you have to forsake everything: your kids, your personal lifestyle, your hobbies, your time, most importantly, your time, because that's the biggest asset we have. They give it up for the sake of building a business. And I've always had the polar opposite approach to that. I believe that first, not just as entrepreneurs, but as people, we need to design our perfect lifestyle, whatever that means. What's the hobbies? What are we gonna do with our kids? Where are we going on vacation? Where are we gonna live? What kind of cars are we gonna drive? All those kinds of things. Do that first, and then you reverse engineer to figure out what your business blueprint needs to look like. And I've been preaching that for 15, 20 years. But a lot of entrepreneurs out there go through this. Okay, I got to work 80 hours a week. Sorry, honey, it's a holiday. I know it's Friday night. I got to get this report done. Before you know it, your kids are growing up. They're going to college. Your health starts to fail a little bit. You go, well, wait a minute. I was supposed to retire when I was 65 and travel the world. And maybe you don't get to do that because you were spending so much time working. And so what happens is depression starts to set in a lot of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are 1.6 times more likely to become depressed later in life if they have this mentality of, I'm going to work every hour necessary to build this beast. And I think there's a better way.
Well, you have a lot of experience, and 35 years is a long time. So I'm sure you found a better way. And work-life balance is something that I think as Americans, we probably could use some assistance on in general, because we're always chasing a dollar and a better way of living, regardless of how we start off living.
And there is, you have to have enough money to support the lifestyle choices that you have, right? I mean, part of the design lifestyle is, okay, here's what I want for my life. There's a number attached to that, right? It's 42,000, it's 109,000, it's 27, whatever that number is. Then you got to figure, okay, I need to make that from this beast back here that I want to build and develop. Whether it be a digital business, whether it be a physical products business, it doesn't matter. The principles of good business are all the same. But that lifestyle design segment, I think, is the most important. And the entrepreneurs that do that do strive for that work-life balance. And there's no such thing as a perfect balance. There just isn't. Every day we have to work at it, right? Every day we get up and say, okay, today I have this stuff for my kids. Like tonight, I'm coaching my son's baseball. I'm 59. I have a 16, a 14, and a 7-year-old kid. I waited a long time to have kids. So guess what? I want to be present for them. I took my little girl. I walked my little girl to the bus stop out in front of our house this morning. Tonight, I'll coach my son's baseball team. I'll take my 16-year-old daughter to her swim class. And that's kind of the advantage of being your own boss and being an entrepreneur like myself. I get to have that time freedom to do the things that are most important to me in my life. And I just want to be around for my kids. And that is, you said the first thing, daddy of three. First thing on my bio, first thing in my books when it says about the author, daddy of three. That's the biggest responsibility I have. And that keeps my mental health kind of balanced.
Yeah, because no matter, like you said, 6, your youngest is 6, right?
Just turned 7. Just turned 7.
Okay. So yeah, they are hilarious. And
Oh,
they learn. They're learning. So as they're learning, they do a lot of funny things. And you're like, well, yeah, okay.
So
that works that way.
I play guitar and write music. And yesterday I was just playing around with a nice little blues progression. And I started, Sierra Lynn, come out and play with me. And I wrote a couple of verses. And so this morning I played it for her, and she just looks like this. And I said, well, do you like the song I'm writing for you? Dad, it's not very good. It's like, okay, I'll work on it, honey. Don't know what good is, but I'll keep working on it. But she just looked at me with these blank eyes like, Dad, it's not very good.
Right, because they're brutally honest.
They really are. And the laughter, being able to laugh with your kids. You and I were laughing before you started the recording. That's what makes life sweet, and living in those moments, the moments that are in front of us, not what we're doing on the weekend, not what we're doing after we retire, but the moment right now. You and I and your audience are sharing a moment right now. That's all we got. And we have to make sure we do the best of that. And that also helps us strive for that proper mental health balance of working our butts off, working hard, but playing hard as well, and making sure that our priorities are in order. If we can do that, and we're aware of that on a daily basis, I think it really does set ourselves up for being healthier mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, everything for our whole lives. I'm 59 and I'm going to be 72 when my 7-year-old graduates high school. That's a scary thought for me. Really scary. Guess what? I got to keep healthy. I got to make sure I'm exercising and eating properly and laughing every day. That's just part of that balance.
Right, because you burn more calories when you laugh than you do when you're angry. That's what I think.
That is very true. Well, and also when you laugh too, your brain releases endorphin. It releases like a dopamine, and it's the same drug that your body releases. Like if you're running a marathon at about 18, 19, 20 miles, you physically and mentally hit this wall. You don't think you can continue on, and your body senses that, and it releases endorphins into your system. Same thing happens when you laugh. When you laugh so hard that you got tears in your eyes and your belly hurts, it's like, okay, please stop. I can't anymore. Your brain will do that for you. And you just have this cleansing feeling of, man, I feel so good after a good laugh. I went to a funeral yesterday, a very dear friend of mine. He died from COVID. So we weren't able to visit him in the hospital or anything, but we went to the celebration of life service. And I cried hard. So was everybody else in that church. But you know what? When we went in the lobby afterwards, the laughter that we had, that we shared together, that moment that we had, it was because the emotions of crying and laughter are so similar. It does cleanse your soul and cleanse your spirit. And we all are out there just laughing and crying and laughing. But I remember driving home, I had a smile on my face. And I just went to a funeral of a dear friend. So it just shows you the power of laughter, doesn't it?
Right. I think laughter is very important, and so is your mindset, because when you talk about the depression and the negative feelings of entrepreneurship and what it can bring when you have those down moments, you think about like what is important, what am I holding on to, what is my why, because that's the importance of the why. And when you do that and you don't know how to laugh, then you're stuck. And you don't know how to enjoy yourself, then you're stuck. You're stuck in those moods, those moments, and depression is so. But if you learn how to use those coping skills, as in laughter, like I'm a caregiver of an aunt that has Alzheimer's, and she's 71, and people look at me and I'm like, well, today she forgot such and such and such and such, and I just started laughing because it's sad, but it's also funny. Like you really, it's really funny. And so you're like, how in the world do you do that? But the brain is just this magnificent thing that we are dealing with, and we're learning, and we think we know, but we don't really know.
Oh, exactly. And I don't think we have to wait until we're an older generation before we have those realizations. When you ask people on their I've lost my father last year and a friend yesterday. And as you get older, you lose people close to you. But when you ask people on their deathbeds what they would do different, they don't say, oh, I wish I would have worked more and built that blue widget and employed more people. No, they say things, you know what? I wish I would have slowed down and spent more time with my kids, more time with my grandkids, more time staring at the tree in my backyard. And we don't have to wait until we're on our deathbeds to realize those simple treasures and pleasures that are right in front of us if we just slow down, take a breath, and realize really how great life is around us. And yeah, there's stresses. I mean, we're going through some incredible hard times now, especially small businesses. I have 4 companies right now, and 2 of them are in the hospitality industry. 2 years ago, we got voted the Pacific Northwest Caterer of the Year. Washington, Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, we got voted number 1. I had no business last year. I mean, I had to lay everybody out. We had no business. We had to do some serious pivoting. But I know a lot of caterers that went out of business. Half the restaurants in the state of Oregon are out of business. They just had to close their doors altogether. That is a tremendous stressor. I mean, there's divorce, there's death of a spouse or a parent, the closing of business. Those are all things that cause immense amounts of stress. And right now we have to deal with them almost solo, right? Because we are still kind of closed off. I mean, things are opening up and I love to see that. Mm-hmm. But we still, for over a year now, we've been closed down, and everything has been like what you and I are doing now on Zoom and on a phone and an email. And it's just change. So the challenges now that people have of being depressed and not being able to go talk to other people about it in person makes it even worse, and I always just tell people, just live today, live in today's moment, appreciate the things that are in front of you today. The stresses are going to come and go, but you know what? In 20 years, no one's going to care about the stresses. They're going to remember the good things, right? It's the good times you created.
Right. But you also bring on something else. You talk about the gratitude and being able to be grateful, to be able to pivot. And that's a key component of good mental health, being able to be grateful for what you have. Like, that is an awesome quality to have within yourself. So you have laughter and you have gratitude, and that is definitely needed, especially in this journey.
We'll come up with a third one, and then we'll write a book. It's called Laughter, Gratitude, and Blank, and that's the title of the new book, right?
Actually, it might be. We might have something.
Well, and the process of writing, I've written, my first book was in 1994. I wrote a book called Marketing Your Espresso Business. I've been in so many challenging industries in my life, but that's what I like. I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. I was thinking about it earlier this year. I've started, built, and sold 16 different companies in my lifetime. I have 4 now. Some haven't worked out. Great ideas in my brain and on paper, but for whatever reason, they didn't pan out. But that is part of that entrepreneurial experience and part of learning to balance your time. I mean, we each have 86,400 seconds in a day. And the biggest decisions we have, whether you own a business or whether you're an employee or whether you're retired at home, the biggest decisions we have each and every day is how we choose to spend those 86,400 seconds. And for me anyway, I don't want to spend my seconds on things that aren't going to bring me joy or bring others joy, especially my children. And that's what my why is. That's what keeps me every single day focusing, because there's a lot of moving pieces in my life. I mean, I have a company that we have 4,000 accounts across the country. I have a very busy consulting business. I have 2 other manufacturing companies, and then I have a publishing company. And so I have plenty to do, but I also have a lot of time off. And I'll tell you why I have time off. I call it the 24/7 mentality.
Okay.
And most people think of 24/7 is just right, nose to the grindstone every day, every night, every weekend. But my definition is 24 hours a week, 7 months a year. And when I ask people, they laugh about it, right? Oh yeah, that's just pie in the sky. But if I were to ask you, if you could figure out how to get your work done, whatever that is, whether you own a business or not, if you can figure out how to get everything done in 24 hours, working only 7 months a year, and you had the rest of the time to do with whatever you chose, is that something that you would be interested in doing?
Right? Most definitely.
Absolutely. Now, I'm not there, but every single day That's my shining beacon on the hill. What can I do today to be more efficient with what I have to do the things that are most important to drive the needle, move the needle in my business, and then delegating everything else, offloading it, automating the systems, whatever you got to do. Uh, to me, that's what moves that needle forward. But if you can get it done in 24 hours a week, 7 months a year, and the rest of the time to do whatever you want, hallelujah, amen. That's revolutionary. Now, if there's somebody that's working 60 hours a week right now, if they can get down to, let's say, 56 hours a week through automating their systems and delegating and getting rid of the stuff that really doesn't matter, like 5 hours a day of social media, which is the average now for a person. If they can figure out how to get rid of that stuff and they've saved 4 hours a week, that revolutionizes their life. That 4 extra hours can be reinvested back into their business, into seeing their children, into going for a walk every day, whatever they want to do. They have that time freedom back again. So that 24/7 mentality, everyone has their own definition. Maybe it's going from 60 to 56 or going from 40 to 38, right? We all have our own definition. But to me, the 24/7, that's my shining beacon. And every day I try to get better at what I do so I can have more time off to not work. Not that I'm lazy, but I kind of am. I want to be smart when I work so I can not have to work.
I mean, I don't think anybody just wakes up in the morning and is like, I want to work. Like, we all want to do things that we enjoy, and even if
Right.
your work motivates you and you're happy at work, you still want to be able to have time to do whatever it is that your spirit wants to do. So you have a great point. But then you bring up another thing. You talk about the systems and automating. And like, when we talk about AI and where we're moving with AI, and you think about automation, a lot of people build resistance to it. But there is some use there. And you do bring that up and you do talk about it when you speak about these systems, because there's no way that we're not going to do it. We're going to do it without technology. You're not automating your day without technology. It's just not happening.
Well,
And
one of the things that came up, and before I forget this, I want to mention that one of the things, and it drives me crazy. I'm an old school guy, but I've adapted and pivoted to new school technologies, like you said. But one of the things that drives me crazy, be emailing with somebody or talk to somebody on the phone, and let's say we have a plan to have a follow-up meeting. Okay, how about next Tuesday at 5? Oh, perfect. I'll send you an invite. Don't need an invite. I just said 5 o'clock next Tuesday. We each have our own calendars, whether it be in our phone or in a book. We all already have that. So now they've introduced a new technology that isn't necessary, because now I get 5 reminders that don't forget next Tuesday at 5. I already know it because it's in my book. They think that the business world needed something like that. And I've talked to many people that are just like, yeah, it's just a waste. Don't need to click on a thing that says accept. It's in the book. It's going to happen, right? So anyway, that's I think a wasted technology. We're applying it to a space that didn't need to have it applied to.
yeah, well, we definitely have. We definitely know there are some glitches in this technology,
Oh yeah,
especially after today.
yeah. Right, that's right. But you know what? We smile, we laugh about it, and we roll with it, right? You have to be able to in today's world. Otherwise, you do get yourself in a hole, a funk hole, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't see a way out. You can't see a way out for
Right.
yourself, your family, your business, and that's just not a way to live. But sometimes it's tough to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. There's a story about a guy walking down New York, and the manhole cover was open. He fell down by accident, and he's
Mm.
down there, and there's no ladders. He can't get out. Police officer walks by, says, "Hey, Miss Police Officer, can you help me out? I fell down in that hole and I can't get out." He writes down a ticket and throws it down the hole. Next one is a preacher walks by. "Hey, pastor, can you help me out here?" Writes down a prayer, throws it in the hole. Next guy by was a dear friend. Says, "Hey, buddy, I fell down this hole. Can you help me out?" His friend jumps in the hole. He says, "What are you doing? Now we're both down here." He says, "Yeah, you know what? I've been here before and I know the way out." And
Oh.
to me, that's just a powerful lesson I think that we all can take with us, that sometimes we might not notice what we do, how it affects other people so deeply, but it does. And so that makes us want to be more aware of what we say, how we say it, what we do, how we do it, because the effects, the ripple effects that it has through not just our family and our friends, but around the world, could be greater than you can ever dream of. So makes us want to just slow down and make sure that we are we're doing the right things every moment of the day.
That is an awesome story. I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, I got lots of stories for you, but yeah, I thought that would be appropriate for this interview. So
I'm sure you do, because you're 35 years in business. I'm sure you have a lot to share.
Oh, I got some stories. Yeah.
That's probably why you're doing consulting and you're helping others, right? You learned a lot.
Part of it is, yeah. You know, failure is the best teacher for success. I mean, you can't be truly all the way successful unless you've tasted defeat and you've tasted what it's like to be at the bottom, like the guy in the manhole. You've been there before, you know the way out. But if you haven't been there before, you don't know how to ask for help. You don't know where to go for help, right? There's resources everywhere, as you know. But if you're down there in the dumps for the first time in your life and you're just, because you've been locked at home and you can't see your friends and family. And I couldn't see my mom for over a year. She lives close to me. And until about a month ago, I couldn't hug her. I couldn't see her. It was all like this. It was all Zoom and phone calls. And that first hug felt like it was about 6 hours. My mom told me it was about 5 minutes, but it felt like it was just all day, just trying to make up for all the missing hugs that we didn't have, you know?
And the tears, like that's just that connection right there. Because I have a son who's actually in the hospital and has been through COVID. So hugging him, like for the first time when I seen him, was like, oh,
made him feel good, but it also filled your soul too, didn't it?
Right. Yes, that was cleansing. It's just, that's what I needed. I needed that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So tell me about your book, your new book that you have coming out. No, that's out.
You mean this one? Well, it's been out for about 6 weeks. Yeah. Customer service is dead, delivering 6-star service in a 1-star world. And, you know, I remember back in the days, I know you're not old enough, but back in the days, they used to call gas stations service stations. They weren't called gas stations. You would pull in, they would wash your windshield, check your oil, make sure all 4 tires had proper air. They would chat with you and smile. And if you had a dog, they'd give the dog a dog bone. And it was an experience. And oh yeah, by the way, you also got gas while you were there. I remember when I was a kid down in Ridgecrest, California, I used to go to the corner gas station when I was old enough to drive, 16, 17 years old, just to watch these guys. And I think I knew them all by name. I forgot their names now, but I think I knew everybody there by name. To this day, I go to the same brand, Chevron, because of that experience that they provided to the customers way back then. My very first gas credit card when I was in college was the Chevron card. The power of branding, right? Drip marketing. And I lost my thought. It's a really good thought.
That's life, right?
Yeah. And anyway, yeah, talking about 6-star experience. So everything today is now about speed and convenience and automation and removing the human element. Fortune 500 companies are looking for ways to get us all online. The internet was already driving us online. COVID made it worse. COVID forced companies to have online solutions. Even if they were a brick and mortar store, they had to go online if they're going to keep money coming in the front door, right? So what's happened is that customer service has suffered. And we all know the world is a 5-star world, right? 5-star hotels, 5-star restaurants. You go to Yelp, it's a 1 to 5-star system. Well, I want to start a movement. And I want us as consumers, I want to hold the businesses that we do business with to a higher standard. And I'm calling it the 6-star service manifesto, where we expect you to go above and beyond. We expect you to do more than we expect. We expect you to fix our problems quickly and efficiently. We expect to be treated like gold at every interaction. And we expect that we are the most important part of your business. If we as consumers can have that mindset and project it on the business world, and I don't care if it's a gas station, insurance company, or where you get your printer paper, I don't care. If we can have higher expectations from the companies we do business with, I think everything is going to rise. You know, they say a rising tide raises all boats. I think we have the chance of doing that. But customer service has just completely went, I think, in the toilet. So this book sets out to, it's a 6-star system. There's 6 chapters. Each chapter is 1 point on the star. And it just teaches you how you can take better care of your customers so that they don't feel like they have to go somewhere else. You know that 84% of customers that will write a check to a business, 84% of them will not do business again with that same company. Baseball.
But I think, right, but the most important thing you seem to talk about is like the connectivity, because even when you were talking about COVID and the experience with COVID and how you had to pivot to use technology, it's the connectivity that keeps your customer base when you're making the pivot.
Oh,
because if they know you and they have a rapport with you, then they usually keep your services, even though you're going through the change, and they allow you to be humane, because as you talked about before, things happen in business, and sometimes it's just not a smooth sail. We want to say that it's a straight line, but it's far from a straight line. Right. It's more like, and it's going all over the place. So that's the thing. The thing about it is when we put technology in and we take the human part out of it, we don't allow for the kind-heartedness or the empathy that needs to be in business, because that's the customer service. And even when most places you call and you'll get people from India, and I don't have any issue with people from India, but I need to be able to understand you. And it doesn't need to be like real fast, and we need to be able to have a conversation, and that time is important. It is. And the more time you take with me, the better I feel about giving you my business. So you make some great points in this book.
I had a recent experience just yesterday, actually, wanted to get a hold of a company. And we spent a lot of money with this particular company. I'm not going to say who they are and what industry they're in, but I had some issues that I needed to get resolved. And the quickest way sometimes is to get someone on the phone, 2 or 3 minutes, boom, 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 you get them done, as opposed to countless emails back and forth over days, maybe weeks. So I spent about 10 minutes on the website looking for a phone number. Couldn't find it. Click the little thing that says chat now. So click chat now, and it says, okay, you're 89th in order. We'll let you know. So, and I was at the office doing some work. So eventually I got this ping. I said, yeah, what's the phone number for customer service? I have several things I want to go over, but it's going to be a lot faster with me and my time. My time is pretty precious. You know, between you and I and your audience, I don't just sit around waiting for someone to ping me so I can talk to them on a chat. They said, oh, we don't have phone support. It's like, okay, you don't have phone support. I understand that. But the things I need to talk to you about, you're going to have to check with somebody else anyway. It's just best if I get someone on the line real quick for 5 minutes. Here's my phone number. Call me. Here's times I'm available. Yeah, we don't do that. You know, and I wanted to say, hey, dude, you know, I just came out with a book. We've sold 20,000 copies in a month. You're going to be in the second edition. I didn't say that, but I wanted to. But it just shows that when a customer issue comes up, I don't care what it costs you to fix the problem. You got to fix the problem, even if it's not your fault. There's a story about Nordstrom's back in New York. A guy bought tires from a tire store, and a couple months later, he put them on. They weren't the right tires, so he took them back to the store. The tire store was gone. It was replaced by a Nordstrom's. He went in there and said, hey, I bought these tires here. The company went away. The manager at Nordstrom's gave him money back. And they've never sold tires in the history of their existence. They have never sold car tires. But they saw a problem, a disgruntled customer, a frustrated customer. They fixed the problem. And guess what? That customer sent so many referrals to Nordstrom's. They didn't have to give the money back. They could have easily said, oh, yeah, it's not our fault. Some guy who used to be here, he's out of business. They didn't take that approach. The approach was, here's a customer standing in front of us. They have a problem. Solve it, whatever it takes. And part of the way that we can do that effectively is by empowering our employees. Part of the problem is, well, let me go check with someone to get permission. No. Give them the power to make decisions, whatever it takes to get that customer to yes and to make them happy, and tell me about it later. Don't check with me, just make a decision. So that comes with hiring and screening better people when you hire them for that front line, right? Whether it be a teller, a cashier, gas station attendant. Out in Oregon, we can't pump our own gas. People have to pump gas for us, which is kind of cool. But if you're in a hurry, you know, it kind of slows things down. But it also provides thousands of jobs in the state of Oregon because people are sitting there pumping your gas. But those people hold why not give them the power to make decisions to take care of this person in front of them right now, not checking with the supervisor, not delaying the process 3 or 4 days. Oh, let me escalate this, so we'll get back to you. And the next week you get an email. But that's the world that we live in, right? So as entrepreneurs and business people, we need to figure out a way around that, how we can navigate this automated world and the digital world and the AI and all this stuff that's just overtaking our brains. How can we navigate that and use it to our advantage so that our customers have a compelling reason to do business with us and nobody else? And that's kind of what this book sets out to do. You can get this on Amazon or in bookstores across the country. Just Customer Service is Dead. And I really do hope it starts a movement on people that say, you know what, enough is enough. I expect more from the people I do business with.
Well, I think I came up with your what is this? Your 10th? That would be your 10th book, right?
This is my 9th one. Number 9.
No, I'm talking about the new book that we're going to entitle.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Laughter and Customer Service.
There you go. Number 10. The writing takes a lot.
Right.
I call it immersion therapy. When I take on a project, and usually it won't get out of my brain until I've done it. This one was sitting in my brain for a couple of years. And see, last year I wrote a book called The Business Basics Boot Camp, which is everything you need to know to start a business. It's just a boot camp, everything from lifestyle design to sales, marketing, pricing, promotion, social media, time management. And that took me 2 years to write because it's hard to write. And every morning you got to be religious and diligent. You got to carve out time, even if you're not creative, even if you don't feel like it. You got to do it. It's like you don't want to go to the gym every day, right? But you know you need to do it if you want that dangling carrot at the end of the rainbow. But it takes a lot of energy for me to write a book. I'm done for about a year. So you're going to have to write the text, okay?
Okay. All right. All right. It might not be a bad idea. I might be able to do that one. Because I do believe in gratitude, laughter, and customer service. So.
Well, the name customer service, people hear customer service and it has kind of a negative connotation. I like to refer to it as customer experience. You know, it's every touch point that customer comes in contact with our business, whether it be on the phone, online, in person, it doesn't matter. They see the logo on the outside of the building. All those are touch points that go into the perceived value that we have for that particular company. And the better job that we can do of making sure that each one of those drips is positive and not negative, the more that we're going to build that customer into a fan, right? We want to convert the customers into fans so they will go to the highest mountain and praise our name, tell their friends and family and coworkers, you got to go to XYZ because they got good products, but man, they make you feel like gold. They really.
Chick-fil-A is one.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. And there's a lot of good companies out there that have this figured out, but more don't have it figured out. And that's right. What I'm trying to convert, the people with this book, trying to convert those people.
But then if you think about it, like it helps your business because I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A because I like the experience that I have. And it's stamping others with love. Like it is. And if we learn to stamp others with love all around, then overall a lot of things get better. A lot.
Right. That's right.
And we don't really realize that it's so many things that if you operate out of love, that would be different. Like even when you have a conflict with someone, if you operate and your intention is still loving and you can just disagree, then it doesn't have to be a negative. It doesn't have to be as negative as it sometimes is.
That's right. That's right.
So we can do a lot better with just being humane. And that's really what it's about, holding space for each other. And it really doesn't take much.
No.
But it may take a lot of inner work depending on what you're dealing with, but you're worth it.
See, how simple is that, right?
Right.
You just simplified the challenge right there in just one little paragraph. Everyone just do that and life is good.
Right. There we go. All right. So it was nice speaking with you.
Oh,
I enjoyed our laughter.
That's good.
And I've also enjoyed what I've learned today about your book. And let's go buy it.
Okay. I want to share one more story. You know, a lot of what we're talking
Okay.
about is perspective, perspective on life and love and customers, and we've touched a lot of different tentacles here. But when my now 16-year-old, when she was about 3 or 4, I planted the seed that Daddy was 7. Now, when you're 3 years old, 7 is like, whoa, that's a big number, right? Well, then at my birthday, I was 8. Then I was 9. Then I was 10. And in a kid's mind, that is real, right? Because they don't understand what 56 means. They don't know what that means. They're just kids. Well, one time I was driving with her down the road, and she says, "Dad, you want to know something that's really weird? You're 12, and I have classmates that have brothers and sisters that are 12, and you're a lot bigger than them, and that's just really weird." I said, "Okay, my gig's up." So I said, "Honey, Dad's going to tell you something, but you got to promise not to tell your younger brother, 2 years younger. Um, Dad's not 12. He's 52." She's like for 5 minutes, you can tell she's trying to understand this concept. It made no sense to her. Finally, she says, "Dad, does Mom know you're not 12?" So anyway, a couple years later, the same experience with my son. Now I have a 7-year-old, and my older kids now, they almost blow it about once a week, because sometimes I'll slip out and say, "Oh, I'm there back, 30 years ago. Dad, you're not that old. You're only 13. I'm 13 right now," to her. Well, the gig's going to be up eventually, but I tell you, and I encourage all parents, if you have young children, tell them you're 8 or 9 or 10. And then as you get older, there'll be a year where they finally realize that you're not 12 or 14, whatever, but try it. You get so much joy and laughter. And it's just that perspective. It's a different perspective. And I think we just all need a different perspective on how to face the challenges that we all have, whether it be in business, personal relationships, it doesn't matter. Sometimes a new perspective gives us a different approach into a business. I'm left-handed, but once a week I write with my right hand and eat with my right hand. Why? Because it forces my other side of my brain to go through synapses. So if you are right-handed, like most of you guys are, I challenge you for 24 hours, write with your left hand. I know you'll be crappy at it, but write with your left hand, eat with your left hand. You will notice a sensation going on inside of your body, because it's a brain thing. It really does, a chemical thing. You will feel different. You get a different perspective on things. Maybe while you're eating, you're going to come up with this great idea. Who knows until you do it? But I challenge you, do it for 24 hours and see how different it makes you feel. See how it changes your perspective on things.
That's interesting, because what you're talking about, well, basically what we're talking about is being mindful while you're interacting and
right.
through your daily life. But then you're talking about adding a new sensation, and I'm going to try it. So
yeah, do it. Yeah, and let me know how it goes. Well, we covered a lot of ground.
I'm not trying today because I got places to go. So if I try to eat, I already know I'm going to wear it.
You're going to wear it all over here, right?
Right. So I'll try it when I'm home. And I'll let you know how it goes, because this is going to be really interesting. But I do and I want to be in a place where I can actually internalize what everything is going on inside of me, because that I think will be a great experience.
The best way to do it, go to your backyard or your deck or wherever you can stare at a tree and just be one with outside with Mother Nature. Do it there, because your thoughts are freer to roam when you are not in an office or a building. Some of my best ideas I've had sit next to a river, because the sky goes forever and your thoughts can go forever. You're not confined by 4 walls of a house. So yeah, when you do the left-handed thing, go outside and sit at your picnic table or something.
But what you're talking about is grounding with nature. And a lot of people, we think we have technology and we have indoors and we know life, but you don't know life until you are actually one with nature. I really believe that the connectivity with the earth is very important. It is, and it's very important in developing yourself and being through your journey. I was talking to my daughter, and we were talking about going to go stay on a farm. Do we know anything about farmland? No, we don't. Not at all.
You'll learn it. You'll learn how to be a farmer, right?
Right. But we want to go stay on a farm. And we do, my family has farmland, but to be there for a long period of time we've never been.
That's funny.
So that right there is going to be an experience. And I think that's what life is really about. enjoying the experience.
Oh, we solved all the world's problems. There's nothing for us left to do. We did it all. So.
Right. Shaq.
That's right. Yeah. Well, thanks for the opportunity. This has been a lot of fun, and good luck to you.
It has. He has definitely stamped us with love and laughter.
All right.
Have a good one. Thanks.
You too. Take care.